Dive into the fun world of letters with Sparkle Denae's ABC Word Chase and Coloring Book. Looking for an exciting and educational way to help your little ones explore their ABCs? Look no further. This engaging book not only allows your child to practice tracing the alphabet, but also includes tracing words and coloring fun pictures in between. It's kid-friendly, kid-approved, and the perfect blend of learning and creativity. Get your copy today and watch your child's learning journey light up with joy.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the LifeScope channel. On your way in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's appreciated as always. So, I wanted to come on here and get into some more of this Diddy saga that's going on. And if you don't mind, I'm going to read just a little bit of some of the articles I have pulled up. I might break this up into two or more videos just so it won't be such a long video this time around. But let's get into it and see how it goes. This is from Vibe and it says Diddy scores major legal win following NYC arrest. While Sean Diddy Combs is currently detained following his Monday, September 16th arrest in New York, there is a bit of good news for the fallen mogul as the Bad Boy Founder's $100 million default judgment in a Michigan case has been thrown out. The news comes 1 week after Michigan inmate Derek Lee Cardello Smith won the default judgment due to Puff not showing up in court. So, last week when I was talking about this, I was asking where did that paperwork go? Because Diddy's attorney did say that his client didn't receive the paperwork. That was the reason why he did not show up to court. But Cardello Smith was able to have not only a hearing, but he was also able to have a restraining order against Diddy. So that is legal paperwork that had to be filed. However, we don't know if he misfiled, didn't file, gave some information, not all. And then you have to kind of keep in mind as well, Diddy, he has been out here living life. I saw Diddy on the beach. I saw Diddy jet skiing. He was on a boat. Ever since this has come out with Cassie's case last year, he has just been living life. Now, he could have just been buying time until he know he has to go sit down for a little while. So he could have just been buying his time. But my point is he wasn't in one place too long to get served or to get the paperwork in order to show up for court. TMZ reports a motion hearing was conducted Wednesday, September 18th where one of Diddy's attorneys, David Fink, convinced the judge to kill the judgment due to the inmate failing to properly serve the lawsuit to Diddy. So that kind of sounds like to me Diddy never got served. Diddy hasn't even been in one location long enough because he's been out here trying to live up his best life before he has to go in. So they couldn't serve him in order for him to know. Due to the inmate failing to properly serve the lawsuit to Diddy, who claimed after the judgment that he had no idea he was even being sued by Cordello Smith. The lawsuit alleged that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted him at a Detroit party in 1997. Well, I mean, this is definitely a win for Puffy in regards to this because he has so many other lawsuits that he has to tackle. We don't know what information. Now, some of the information definitely going to be repetitive because Cassie did set a bar, so now other lawyers could kind of come in, especially since the indictment was made public, they could come in and somewhat parrot off of that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are lying, but it also doesn't necessarily mean that they're telling the truth as well. So each person that does come out has their own story to tell, but a lot of the information I think is going to be repetitive in terms of he was violent, abusive, drugs, sex, all of that is probably going to be said in most of these civil suits. And it has been to a degree. I haven't read everybody's civil suits, but so far that is the ongoing thing because that's what unfortunately that's one of the things Puffy is allegedly being known for is his parties, his sexual appetite for some nasty, nasty sex. So this is where we are with it. Let me read this. While his troubles in Michigan are under control, Diddy is still in hot water with the state of New York as he was arrested Monday on charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud and coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Evidence collected by authorities that led to the arrest included compromising recordings of Diddy's sex parties, known as freak-offs, as well as various weapons and over 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil. Now you know people are not gonna let Diddy live that down. Them 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil. Like who the hell has 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil? And I definitely don't mean to laugh. This is a serious matter. But come on now. Was he trafficking these bottles of lube and baby oil? Like, why you got 1,000? What is going on? He's since pled not guilty to all charges and will not be granted bail. So I want to ask a question. At this point, is it okay for Diddy to say that he is not guilty? I get that Diddy doesn't want to self snitch. And I don't think he should self snitch on himself, even though I feel like he is guilty of some things. You know, some things have definitely been shown to be proven true. And there was a videotape to show he was putting hands on her. So that right there, to me, that's a done deal. That's like proven at least in her behalf that she was telling the truth. And all the way up until that video came out, him and his lawyer was saying, "Oh, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty." But when that video came out, he had to do an apology video. But I thought I heard someone on social media, it was said that they were trying to give him life. And I want to know, do y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree with Diddy possibly getting life? I don't know. Even though he's done a lot of questionable things, clearly has hurt people, definitely has screwed over people business wise. Um, does he deserve life? Who knows? Let me go on and move to another article that I want to read, and this is from People. And this is Diddy denied bail again, sent back to jail. His lawyers describe it as horrific to await trial. So if you all have heard, his lawyers asked for bail twice on his behalf, but he got denied both times. And during one of my videos, I had said, because I thought he was going to be able to bond out, actually. I was like, yeah, he'll bond out, then he'll take a plea or whatever, because it seemed like it just made sense that they would offer him bail. He would have the money, or he definitely will have something that he could put up for collateral that is of value. if he didn't have the cash money on him. And he was going to definitely take a plea. There was no way around it. So then he can get on with the next phase of his life. He get a plea, they give him some time, he go ahead and do it, and then they may or may not sum it up into half of what they said they were going to give him. And that's usually how it worked in most cases. However, they denied him bail, and I don't know, I really want to know the reason why they did. Let's see if it says it in here. Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail again on Wednesday, September 18th, a day after a federal judge in Manhattan remanded him to await trial at a jail in Brooklyn. The rapper was initially denied bail during his arraignment in Manhattan's federal court on Tuesday, September 17th, and remanded to jail. A different judge denied his request for bail on Wednesday. Combs' legal team promptly appealed the judge's decision to deny bail and returned to court the following afternoon. In a September 17th letter to the judge, Combs' lawyers described conditions at Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn as horrific and not fit for pretrial detention. His defense proposed in court Wednesday that Combs live at home alone in Florida with a 24/7 security team that would monitor a pre approved guest list. And he offered to give up any access to his cell phone or internet. And in the words of his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, do nothing but prepare for his trial. So let's stop right there. If the judge allowed this to happen, in my opinion, having a security team to watch over you for 24/7, what how would that even work out? And I mean, I feel like Diddy could sweet talk the security team. Like, what's to stop the security team from taking money and Diddy get to do whatever he wants to do? He can leave the house, he can go here and there, and the security team just say, "Oh yeah, he was here," and be at his home, because we can't act like money doesn't talk. So if he had a security team monitoring him in Florida, of all places, then what would stop the security team from accepting money and letting Diddy do whatever he wanted to do? And then the pre approved list. Like, who all is going to be on the list to be able to see him? But Judge Andrew L. Carter Jr. said that there is no condition or combination of conditions to ensure he will not obstruct justice or tamper with witnesses. Okay, so that's the real reason right there that the bail was denied. He doesn't want to give, the judge doesn't want to give Diddy an opportunity to try to coerce witnesses or intimidate them, or maybe to get people to back down from making any type of statements. So he wants to keep Diddy isolated all the way up until the trial date. So that is the real reason why. Okay. So it looks like it's just saying some of the information that I've already read, talking about his bottles of lube and women getting hurt during the freak offs. Now, one thing that is of interest, during the March raids of his home in Florida and California, law enforcement allegedly recovered three AR 15s disassembled and with the serial numbers filed off. when you trying to file a serial number off, you not trying to get caught up with. You just not. You're not trying to have it traced back to you. So why would Diddy have AR-15s, allegedly have AR-15s with the serial numbers filed off? Has someone used those weapons before? We don't know what it is. Maybe it could have just been a form of protection, but three? I mean, So that is of interest, and I forgot about that part with him having the weapons. That would seem more of one of the charges right there, but I think it would only come into play if he's a felon. I don't know if Diddy's a felon or not. And also, if they were used in some type of crime, I think they would have mentioned those guns. That would have been bigger news. But the investigation is still going on. So, since the investigation is still going on, there's no telling what else is going to come out or if they actually do have these weapons that belong to Diddy, what's going to come out about those weapons. So, lastly, I want to read a little bit of Kalenna Harper. Kalenna Harper was Don Richards' duo partner with Dirty Money. And let's see what she has to say because I did see a screenshot off Instagram where it said when Don Richard gave her civil suit around September 10th, Diddy was calling Kalenna Harper over 50 times. Now, if you guys know about Kalenna Harper, she was on Love and Hip Hop. That's where I'm familiar with her, but I do know of her being in the group and her doing a good job, but I mostly know about her from her being on Love and Hip Hop with her and her husband. So Kalenna Harper took to Instagram to share her thoughts about being mentioned in Don Richards' lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, where Richard alleged that the two women saw the entertainer abuse singer Cassandra Cassie Ventura. Though Harper shared that she wants to acknowledge Richard's claims, she maintained that some do not align with my own truth. Richard filed a complaint in New York federal court on September 10th alleging that the 54-year-old music mogul sexually and verbally abused her for nearly 10 years, according to court documents obtained by People. Kalenna Harper is sharing her thoughts about being mentioned in Don Richards' recent lawsuit against Diddy. Taken to her Instagram stories on Friday, September 13th, Harper, 42, responded to claims made by Richard, 41, in her recent complaint against Combs, 54, that the two women allegedly saw the music mogul abuse singer Cassie Ventura, 38, at his Los Angeles home. I acknowledge the recent lawsuit filed by Don Richard, in which my name has been mentioned 33 times. She led off the story's post, which was shared as plain text on a gray background. While I fully respect Dawn's right to recount her experiences, I want to emphasize that her account reflects her personal perspective and should not be interpreted as a universal truth applicable to everyone involved. So, right there, Kalenna Harper basically just saying she didn't see blank. What Don probably went through or possibly saw, if this is true, so we have to say allegedly, Kalenna did not see that. Now, I do want to say that Kalenna has always had her husband with her. Her husband is in the business. So, with her husband by her side, was that a form of protection, so to speak? Because, your man is not going to let you, as best as possible, he's not going to let you be in a messed up situation. So, Diddy probably couldn't allegedly play Kalenna out the way that he possibly did Don Richard. The only people, or the only person whose case we could safely say is for the most part true is Cassie. That's because he paid her the next day, showing like, yeah, I don't want you to talk. And that doesn't always mean that you're guilty if you pay, because sometimes you want things to just go away. But it just so happens it was true. Let me see if there's anything else I want to read about Kalenna. And she says, speaking of her husband, the singer songwriter added, Tony and I have always conducted ourselves with the highest level of professionalism and integrity. We were not involved in, nor were we aware of, any behavior that could be considered abusive or unlawful. So basically, that is it. And that is all with Kalenna talking about the situation that happened between Don and Diddy. Anywho, I am going to leave it right there. Definitely let me know what you think. Do you think Diddy is still not guilty? That's my first question to you all. Also, do you think right now Don Richard is telling the truth? Just based off everything you have seen or heard so far, or are you just kind of somewhat like me where you want to wait till everything or damn near everything comes out before actually making a decision? Because I have said for several times now, Diddy is guilty of some things. I don't think he's guilty of everything. And it could look like a dog piling effect because he is going down, he's hitting bottom, but they're going to have to sort all of that out through the lawsuits and through his pretrial. So it's it's pretty safe to say he is definitely going to do some time. It's just a matter of how much at this point is he going to do. Anyway, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bye.